This week, I realized something about my writing. Not about the story, but about how I've been telling it. I thought I was rewriting scenes, but really, I was learning to let go, to say less, to trust more.
Stolen Dreams 1 was written in 2004 while I was studying for my MA in screenwriting. I wanted to write something that I can make, so simplicity was key. 2 characters, 1 location, with the emphasis on storytelling. We shot the film and released it to a mass audience, and the feedback was extraordinary. So then later on that year, I was motivated to now write the second series, Stolen Dreams Redemption. I wrote that in October, September period. We shot this a few months later, February 2025. Redemption came out in September 2025 to a mass audience at the Genesis. Over 300 people in attendance for the premiere. And since then, we've had about 8 to 10 screenings all up and down the country, and with some screenings lined up internationally as well. The feedback has been amazing from young people, from parents, from practitioners, and it's motivated me even more to now want to write the final chapter to close off this particular story. So then over the Christmas period, I wrote Stolen Dreams Legacy, and I finalized that in January, just a few weeks ago. Now we're here, now talking about going from the script to the screen. And I'm looking forward to going on this journey of creativity, as well as showing you the process and what it means. What you are about to watch is my week. The decisions, the reflections, the periods of doubt, the ups and the downs of what is the beginning of this process. Follow me as I go on this journey of trying to improve as a writer, as a creative, and especially in this week while I'm trying to learn to trust the audience even more. I hope you enjoy it.
Some mornings I wake up before the day even starts, before the noise, before anybody needs anything from me. And I sit there in the quiet, hearing my own thoughts properly. Not the loud ones, but the honest ones. Sometimes I clear my head by putting my body through the test early in the morning. Each push-up often represents how difficult the journey is. Because it's easy to write when you're inspired. It's harder to write when you're responsible. When your life has weight, and the story still wants you to carry it. It's just me and the page. People think storytelling is inspiration, but most of the time it's problem solving. What's not working? The characters, the theme, the emotional thread. Why does this scene feel flat? Why doesn't the truth land yet? And you can sit there for hours staring at the screen, trying to understand what the story is asking from you. Because at some point, every script stops being about the story. It becomes about the reflection of how you think, what you notice, and how you make sense of the world around you. And that's when it gets uncomfortable. Because being a creative is exposure. It's vulnerability, is letting people see how you see. But inside that vulnerability is growth. So you return, you adjust, you refine, and you search again. I spend a lot of times traveling between places, not just on trains, but in my head. And it reminds me that most of life isn't big moments. It's transitions, the in-between, and that's where the story lives. Not in the headline moments, but the quiet parts that shape who you are before you arrive. These are the moments where we begin to make sense of things, when we decide on key moments for the day. It shapes how the story pans out for the day.
Just on my way to work and going over the script again. Because the thing about writing a film, writing a script, is it's a working document. There's always something you feel that you can improve, but the key thing is understanding when to stop so you're not overdoing it. But right now, we're still in the early stages. Still the second draft. Still waiting for some notes to come back. So we'll continue developing the script for now. Because things can change even right up until the day we start shooting. So in theory, the script can get locked at some point, but at the same time, it's still a working document.
There's a kind of fear that sits behind too much dialogue. It's quiet, but it's there. It's the fear that the audience won't understand, that they'll miss something you meant, that they'll walk away without getting it. I love listening to natural dialogue when I'm out. People often do not say what they mean, often filled with indirects and subtext. In life, with that type of dialogue, you start to infer meaning, and in film, it becomes a puzzle for the audience to work on. But I'm learning that people don't connect with explanations. They connect with recognition. They don't need a character to say I'm broken. They just need to see how somebody behaves when no one's watching. I've worked with young people most of my life, and one thing I've learned is this: you can tell somebody what to think, but it doesn't change them. What changes people is when they discover something for themselves, when they connect the dots, when it feels personal. I always say to my students, if you're not thinking, you're not learning. Often many will do everything to avoid thinking, to shy away from answering questions. Many will try and avoid eye contact as I slowly pace around the room. Those are the exact moments I look for. They're often the ones that get picked. My job in the classroom is not to feed them the answers, but to create the conditions where they discover the answers themselves, where they take ownership of that learning. Often this can feel uncomfortable for them, but when it sparks, they enjoy that feeling. That's what a good film does. It doesn't shout the message, it lets you hear it in your own language.
Okay, what would you say you have improved the most last term? Okay. So you've really turned it around, which is good. Okay. Is there any particular assessments that you feel proud of that you've done so far? Any particular assignments, any particular challenges? It could be in-class tasks, like group work, anything that you feel like, yeah, you know what, I really put a lot of effort into that and I'm happy with what I did. Okay, what could you do to improve? Even though that I'm here now supporting you with that, what do you think you can do personally to improve that you're not doing, especially with this particular unit? So I'll end the lesson saying, okay, this is what we're going to do in the next lesson. Go and do some reading, and I might tell you, go and read this specific article, for instance, or I might give you some resources to read. So then that way, it's like we're not wasting too much time in a lesson understanding the basics. And then, and that kind of shows me exactly who is really serious as well, because you definitely need to make some time to do some independent learning because it's important.
I think becoming a father changed my relationship with storytelling, because when you live with responsibility, you start to value simplicity. You realize not everything needs a performance, not everything needs noise. Sometimes showing up is the story. Trying again is the story. Being consistent when nobody's clapping, that's the story. And in this is the moment that's most important in mine. What impact will I leave in the lives of my 3 daughters before my story fades? In storytelling, we talk about turning points, the inciting incident, the midpoint, the point of no return. For many men, fatherhood is that moment, the shift, the deeper meaning, the new discipline, the reason beyond yourself. There's no manual for fatherhood, and at some point you have to trust that everything you're pouring in will mean something. You learn to trust your child.
What was it today? Exams?
Geography and RS.
How was it?
Geography was good. RS was good, it's just like very heavy.
What it's
Like it's like all the questions is either 15 markers or 12 markers.
so it's writing heavy.
Yeah.
So did you answer all the questions or attempt all the questions? Or?
Yeah, I attempted all of them.
So do you want me to teach you how to make the burger from scratch?
Yeah, today.
Not today.
There's nothing to do, like literally nothing. I might not enjoy, you know it.
Look, you're just breaking stuff. Pick that up, please. I don't know.
Come.
Which, do you have spaghetti at home?
Confused.
Where are you going?
Huh?
Where are you going?
I'm going to get my bag upstairs.
What's that? How much is £3.50? Move that off the trolley.
$3.50.
Move this. £3.50. Go and get food. This is not food. What is this? That's no. I'm not doing that. I don't know what you. You can pay for it with your pocket money.
I don't have my card on my phone.
Whose problem is that?
Wait, what happened to my phone?
That's when you're. That's your responsibility. After your exams.
What?
8 weeks.
It's been 8 weeks. I can't only
Oh.
write on paper.
We've survived this far without it, so you've even changed. That you're more human. Where is I don't know. Put that down. I don't know why you're walking around with it. You need to get the veg. Can you get the mixed peppers?
We're going to make the burger today.
I'm not making no burger today. What do you mean I'm not doing? Have you worked today?
Huh?
Have you worked
Yes.
today? No, you have not worked today. You did exams.
Exactly.
Do you know how much work I've done today? You think I'm not making
I
nothing.
never said you have to make it. All you have to do is grill it.
That's work.
You, all you do is put the thing on and you close it.
What do we need? What's that? How much is that one?
It's half of it.
Yeah, see, that's reasonable. When I bought the £3.50 one. Who's paying for that?
All you have to do is literally you just put on the grill and you close the thing. You put it on and grill it. I can even do that. Actually, no, I'm not doing that. No. What was saying? I need to learn how to make stuff. I could just be making burgers every day for people.
Okay.
But you're the one refusing to show me.
Today's not that day.
No, it is. Okay, you don't have to be in the room. Just tell me what seasons to put. I'm making burger. I'm making burger.
You're not making any
I
burger
thought you said
today.
you don't want to do it. I'm making it.
You're not wasting
I'm not
this
wasting
mince
it.
to learn without
I'm
being
not.
taught.
No, then it's either it gets wasted or you teach me.
You're talking like you've got
I do.
power of get the custard, please.
I'm digestive.
What? Get the bigger one then. How much snacks do you think you're going to be getting?
Wait, look.
We need to get food. This is the whole point of this journey.
Wait, what?
Thing that could be eaten.
I don't eat anything that I like.
No worries.
Don't even hit me.
Sorry, can't fit.
Oh, no, sorry.
No worries.
Wait.
Who's Holton? No, just normal one. Yeah, go and get it.
I'm porridge. We haven't had porridge, and I like porridge.
This is the type of shopping that doesn't make sense to me because when I start calculating what was spent and what's actually going to go home, it's not making sense. Right now, all I see is rice and chicken. Everything else.
Alright?
Trusting the audience is respect. It's saying I don't need to explain everything. I can show you a moment and let you decide what it means. So let me ask you something. Would you rather feel loved or be told you are loved? One lives in actions, in presence, in lived moments. The other lives in words, in reassurance, in what is said. Both matter, but feeling, for me, that stays longer than being told. And storytelling works the same way. You don't remember what's often said. You remember what it made you feel. That's real storytelling. Not the kind that talks at people, but the kind that invites them in. What does it mean to control every part of a story? Every word, every beat, every emotion. You start to believe nothing can be left to chance. But when it comes to the real question, do you trust the audience or do you not trust your own skill? We live in a time where everything is explained. Nothing is left unclear, nothing left unsaid. Stories built safe, predictable, controlled. But that isn't the story I'm trying to tell. Because storytelling like this is rhythm, timing, and feeling. There's always a moment before the shot. I can play it safe, just keep the ball moving, control the rally, and avoid the mistake. No risk, no loss. But also, no breakthrough. Or I can just trust my instinct, commit to the shot, accept the uncertainty. Sometimes you miss, sometimes you win the point. But the game only moves forward when you're willing to take the shot. Storytelling is the same. If you control everything, the story suffocates. If you explain everything, the audience feels nothing. Sometimes the best thing you can do for a scene is leave space, let it breathe, let it hang long enough for someone to feel it. Because when you explain everything, there's nothing left for the audience to discover. So I'm learning to loosen the grip, to trust the craft, to trust the moment, to trust the audience. Because great stories aren't played safe, they're played with courage.
You know, the thing about it is I haven't played as regularly as I'd like to play. So the league season started September, October. And so I feel a little bit rusty. So out of the 3 games, I ended up winning 1 out of the 3 games, which is not my typical standard. I would normally win at least 2 or 3 games. But today just feels rusty. Some of my shots lacked control. A bit erratic at points where I should have been a little bit more calmer, trusting my skills a little bit more. But overall, I'm glad that I managed to get that final win, because our team ended up winning today's match, because going into my final game, we were at full rule. So it came down to that sort of final game against me and Comron. I wanted to clean sweep him, but he fought hard and came back to make it 2-1. And I couldn't allow him to bring it back to 2-2, because that's when things get a little bit nervy, to say the least. But overall, it's been a while since I had a league match. I think my last league match was early January at some point. I think my next match will probably be in March. Quite a lot of members for Sparta this year, so not as many frequent league matches as I did last year. And to be honest, the reason why I've been a little bit rusty is because just been busy, work, and obviously the promotional tour of Stolen Dreams, Redemption, the second one. working towards post-production from the end of the last season in May right up until the premiere in September. So there was a lot of times where I couldn't commit as much, but it's always good to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, overall, good match, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
There's always that moment where you look at a scene and realise, I'm doing too much. Too many words, too much explaining, too much effort to control how it lands. And it's humbling to admit, because you wrote it, you fought for it. But sometimes the real work is having the courage to cut it down to the bare bones. This week wasn't about finishing the perfect draft. It was about shifting how I think, from proving to trusting, from controlling to allowing. Because when you trust the audience, you stop writing to impress. You start writing to connect. I'm learning that storytelling is not about how much you can say, it's about what you can leave behind. A look, a pause, a small action that carries a whole history. That's what lasts. So this week wasn't all about rewriting pages. It was about reprogramming how I think. And next week, the journey continues. We head off to Berlin. Stolen Dreams Redemption. New audiences, new rooms, new conversations. And the rewrite for Stolen Dreams legacy intensifies. See you next week.